back to All Things Plastics, where we dive deep into beauty, body transformations, and the stories behind the surgery. Today's guest is Noelle, a woman who truly embodies the evolution of elegance. Originally from Seattle and now living in Salt Lake City, Noelle is 28 and she proudly is living the soft life. With a following of 12,000 followers, this retired concert pianist has a remarkable background performing for orchestras, ballets, and teaching dozens of students in her own music studio. But now embraces a new role, housewife, mother, and iconic trophy wife. Her aesthetic journey is just as fascinating as her career. From her viral septorhinoplasty and revision work, a breast augmentation, and veneers, Noelle has curated her vital transformation. Most of her procedures were performed by top-tier providers in Utah. Today, she's here to share her story from the concert stage to the operating room and what it means to embrace her transformation and self-expression on her own terms. Everyone, welcome Noelle to the show. That was such a mouthful, but
I love it.
I mean, they can hear the audio, but you are gorgeous. I love everything. Your hair, everything. I love it. And I'm so excited for you to be on the show because I found your social media and I was like just watching your content in awe. I was like, wait, she is iconic.
Thank you so much.
Of course. And we'll dive into starting off with your background. Your story is so unique. And can you tell us about your life before the aesthetic world as a concert pianist and where you grew up?
Yeah, oh my gosh. I'll try to be brief because I can really go off. I grew up outside of Seattle. I was actually kind of a farm girl. We had what's called a gentleman's farm. So you have the house, we had the barn, the horse, the cows, the chickens. And I was homeschooled until high school and I was raised Mormon. I'm still Mormon. So I was just this homeschooled farm Mormon girl, if you can picture that.
Oh my goodness.
No, I know. It's a different aesthetic for sure. And I also was very serious about piano. Some of my first memories, I started when I was really young, 5 or 6.
I love that.
Thank you. Took it very seriously. It was my thing. And I was always performing, competing, and practicing. And then I always knew I'd go to college for that. So then when I turned 18, I got accepted to the BYU School of Music. And then I just moved out to Utah and I've been here for 10 years now.
How freaking iconic. And like nowadays, let's be real, no one plays the damn piano anymore. No one does instruments. No one's doing anything but trying to be like TikTok girlies. I mean, no shame to the game, but like no one can play the piano, I bet, if you ask around.
It's far and few between. Few and far between. How do you say that?
Yes.
It's a close call.
And you've been doing that and you teach, you're at your own studio right now. Is that correct?
You know, I only have 2 more students. I used to have a lot more. I think at biggest I had about 40, but yeah, I owned my own studio. It was called Capri Piano Studio. It's my daughter's middle name. And I full time every day of the week, pregnant with a newborn. I was teaching a lot. It was fun.
I love that. And how did you meet your husband? Is he kind of in the same concert, pianist, orchestra? Did you meet him in school?
So he's not a musician at all. I actually met him via my religion's dating app. So it's like Tinder, but it's called Mutual. And so you just know that you're coming from...
The Mormons have their own dating app? That's pretty fucking iconic.
I know. Well, it just like helps you cut to the chase, right? It's like
true.
Someone in the religion, just use the app.
It's like marryafarmer.com or something.
Oh my gosh.
It's like you're looking specifically for a farmer. You just cut to the chase.
Yeah, just get right to it. So I met him on that app and we had a phone call that lasted until 6 a.m. And then we saw each other in person like the next day. And we were engaged 6 days after we met because...
Oh my gosh. 6 days?
Yeah. Love at first mutual.
Okay. You are another girly that needs to be on Mormon Wives because that's iconic. Your story's iconic.
You know what? My injector is the same one as Taylor Frankie Paul's injector. So I agree.
Oh my. No, and we're definitely going to dive into this later on in the interview. But did you meet your husband before the glow up or after the glow up?
Way before the glow up. Way before. Yep. Like 3 years before.
I love that. So he deserves the whole glow up package now. Definitely.
He's enjoying it thoroughly. Yeah.
I love that. Now, you've had such a successful career in music. What led your decision to step away and embrace the soft life?
It's 2 things. At the end of my degree, I actually wanted to get my MBA and pursue a career in investment banking because you said it earlier. You're like, no one plays the piano. No one plays instruments. Yeah, I just felt like I was stuck in an industry where you had to fight for relevancy and fight for an audience. And I was not interested in that. You know, I saw my own college professors, not to slander them or shame them, but struggling, you know, financially, struggling in their careers, even though they were top of the line musicians. And I just thought, is that what I want. Not
Yeah.
quite. I was okay with music being my passion, something that was satisfying and beautiful. But my full-time career, when you mix your passion with work, sometimes you resent it. And I just
Mm-hmm.
decided to separate. So I slowly started back out. I wasn't going to get my master's, wasn't going to go to Juilliard. And that was a very peaceful for me decision. But then second, so then I was going to do investment banking, right? My
Mm-hmm.
husband, he bought a business 5 years ago, around the time I had my daughter, and she's 4, so 4 years ago. And I just realized, like, oh, good, I don't need to go out and make money. I'm gonna back out of being, an aggressive career woman, and I'll just be an aggressive hot woman.
Heck yeah. I love that. An aggressive trophy wife.
There you go, very aggressive. Yeah, yeah.
And you do call yourself, you said this, not me, a housewife, bimbo, trophy wife, owning it with humor and pride. What does that identity mean to you?
It's actually poking fun at
Okay.
all the people outside of us women who understand, procedures and getting cosmetic work done. The people outside of that, my mother, a lot of friends I used to have, when they hear plastic surgery, they just think, oh, you're stupid. You're a bimbo. You're materialistic then. You're an airhead. They just have these assumptions. Yeah, you get it. They have to make all
It's
these
such an
assumptions.
old, shitty mentality.
Yes.
Like, you're only
Yes.
getting plastic surgery if you're a bimbo and pretty because that's all you have to offer is your looks. And it's like,
And
no,
I'm
no,
going
no,
to
no,
leave my
no.
husband, right? I'm going to leave him. I'm a horrible
Yeah.
mother, etc. And so
Yeah.
it's really me saying, like, look, I don't need to prove to anyone that I have an education, that I have talents, that I'm intelligent. It doesn't matter to me. If you want to just believe because I have fake boobs that I am inherently worth less in society, I'm going to have fun with that. And I'm making fun of you because that's
True.
all you'll ever believe. That's all you have the bandwidth to digest about a woman who looks the way I look. So whatever, I'm not going to fight it. It's funny now. It's just funny. So.
Yes, you're trolling the trolls. I love
Exactly.
that.
Exactly.
Now, getting into your aesthetic journey, let's get into your procedures. Where did your beauty journey start? What was the first procedure you got done? When and where?
I got lip filler very first before my nose job, but my nose job was scheduled. But my first thing I ever did was lip filler. I had it done at Utah Facial Plastics in 2022.
Okay.
A little blurry, but I started, filler right before my nose job, sometime in the late summer, fall, something like that. And that blew my mind. I was like, oh my gosh, my face looks so different already. I already knew I was going to get the rhino, but it was a few months ahead.
Yeah.
And so the lip filler was first. And I was like, this is something. Wow. Like, I look so much better. Things are more balanced already. I feel more feminine. I feel prettier. And it was just one syringe, it changed my life. Yeah. And then I did do the rhinoplasty later.
Yes. And so touching on the rhinoplasty, when you were maybe in, I don't know, high school or out of high school, when did you kind of know that you wanted a rhinoplasty? When did that kind of start happening for you?
It started when I was 13. My grandmother actually pointed out to me, she's like, you got a great body, but we need to do something about that nose. And that was the first time I'd been verbalized. I'd been bullied for it, but I don't think I knew that you could do something about it. And so she said that there are surgeries, we'll get you that surgery. We'll have, of course, your dad pay for it, but let's get the ball rolling. My mother was livid with my
I was going to say, that is shocking coming, especially because you guys are Mormon. Your grandmother saying like, hey, have you ever...
She's not LDS, but...
Your mom? Okay.
My mom is,
still,
my grandmother not, but...
Yeah, but that's still shocking coming from a grandma,
She was very outspoken and
oh my gosh,
wasn't embarrassed to point out physical flaws.
Uh-huh.
And she was right. I should have had the nose job at 13. I should have, because I broke it when I was about 9 or 10. Young. Puberty started and things started developing more rapidly. It really started developing that big hump that I had, and it was crooked. And so once my grandma noticed, she started saying something, and my dad was a bit on board. He was like, oh yeah, I guess. I didn't notice, but sure, we should get you the surgery. Mom was so against it because my mom was one of those believers. You get plastic surgery, you're a crazy woman. You're insane if you can't do it. Which is funny because she had a rhinoplasty when she was 16. I know.
What?
The Lord.
That's the pot calling the kettle black. How are you gonna? Oh my gosh!
Because she broke her nose during a softball game. The ball bounced up, hit her nose. She had an emergency reconstruction. It left her a little asymmetrical. I think she hated it, and I think she didn't want me to be stuck with something I hated. Which is funny.
I see.
I don't know. She wasn't a very good communicator, but
that's your theory.
That's the theory. Yep. So then all throughout, high school, college, I was bullied, but kind of had this belief that it was never going to happen for me. I could never have the surgery because those who loved me most were so against it. So it was sad.
Yeah, that's hard that you want to change something about yourself, but you feel like you can't because everyone around you won't like you anymore. They'll perceive you differently. And I feel like that's what a lot of women go through when they want to get plastic surgery, especially if mommies want to get mommy makeovers. Oh, I'm going to be judged for that. They're going to think I'm trying to be somebody who I'm not. And it's like, no, you're really just trying to gain confidence and maybe even get back to your original self, you know?
Yeah. Or be your best self, your
Yeah.
prettiest self. Who doesn't want to fulfill all their potential? Sometimes that's aesthetic too, not just I can do math really well now. I can do that too. But I still want to be your prettiest that I can be. Why not?
Yes. And how did you go about your septorhinoplasty? Has almost 40 million views on Instagram. That is so crazy. And this was one of your first major surgeries.
Yeah.
How was that experience with the septorhinoplasty, and how did you feel about the revision work that followed? If you want to explain to the girls why you needed a revision.
Yeah. I mean, the rhinoplasty was so exciting. I was so happy. I knew that nothing could be worse than what I had before. So
Okay.
I just was elated. And I kept telling people, I'm so relieved. Like, I can't explain it, but it's just like this burden, this angst, this, invitation to bully me, finally gone.
Yeah.
Just relieving. It was so exciting. Even when it was massively swollen and I was so bruised, the hump was gone. And it was straight. And it was amazing. Just exciting. Cool to see all the, it's never going to grow back kind of a thing. Just telling myself, it's gone, you're healed, it's made right. Amazing, amazing. The revision work started, I want to say, a year after surgery, because when it was broken, because I ran straight into a sliding glass door at night, it was broken forward, inward, and then also shoved to the right, very noticeably. And so the revision work that was necessary it was still slightly to the right, but just a little bit, just kind of had like
But wait, you ran into a sliding glass door after your first?
No, I'm so sorry. That was the original break. That's how it was broken.
Okay. I was like, wait.
Oh, that would be terrifying. No. But after the swelling was all gone, after the first year of recovery, I noticed the asymmetry was still present.
Okay.
So my surgeon was very creative. I've never heard of this before, but it worked very well for me. We did needle shaves. So needle shaves, I would come into the clinic, I'd lay in a chair, he'd anesthetize the area with a few different injections. And then I want to say, the way I describe it, it's like a single cheese grater. It's this thicker needle. I believe it was pointed, kind of teardrop shaped and hollow on the inside. And he would stick it through the skin on the bridge of my nose and just shave and just scrape at whatever bone was still needing to be shaved down, right? And it was definitely, you could feel it, but not the pain. You could feel that grating of the metal on the bone. And he would, gradually scrape away at areas that were asymmetrical. And we'd let it heal. We'd evaluate. And then eventually I needed a steroid injection about here and here where the needle shaves had taken place to help reduce that scar tissue. And then I think I had a little bit of filler placed in my radix because not only was the bridge shoved, there was a little bit of pinch here at the radix. So we evened everything out with just meticulous little work here and there over the course of the last year, I believe. And it's
okay, I was going to say, are you happy with, even after all the little meticulous revisions, are you happy with the outcome? I mean, it looks phenomenal.
I'm happy with it, so much so because it still has a little hooked tip, because I'm Jewish. My ethnicity is, call it Hebrew, call it Jewish, Ashkenazi Jewish, Russian Jewish, whatever. It depends on how far back you want to go. But I'm Jewish, and I did not want to look any different than that. So one thing I told him before we had surgery was, you can't turn it up. You can't give me a piggy nose. You can't give me a Tinkerbell tip. That's not going to look right. And he agreed.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love that I still have just a bit of that ethnic look to it. It's not overly reduced. I can breathe just fine.
Love that.
Thank you.
And how was your post-op? Did you have any complications at all, or was everything kind of smooth sailing for you?
It was very smooth because I had hydrocodone, which agrees with me. It doesn't mess with my digestive tract. We'll talk about the breast augmentation.
Good.
That was different. But I was very well medicated. I had family in town to care for my daughter while my husband was at work, because when you have a rhinoplasty, you can't be around your toddler.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it was nice. I had that support, friends and family who came over. The bruising was definitely pronounced. Not the worst I've ever seen, but it was there. I didn't mind. It was just kind of funny to me. I got a nose job. What do you expect?
And your surgeon did so good. How did you go about researching your surgeon? Did you find him on Instagram or on Google? How did that process go?
I Googled. I knew I would stay in the area. Salt Lake area has a lot of plastic surgery providers. I knew I'd find someone here. I spent hours going through before and after galleries on their websites and just comparing if I could find anyone who started with a nose like mine.
Good.
Right. I can't compare someone who started with a straight bridge.
Exactly.
Yeah. I liked Dr. Henstrom's results the most. It was just markedly, something that I really loved. He had a different result for every patient, and I knew that I needed that, customized look.
Yes. Was he your first consultation?
No, I was going to say I had a consult before him with a different surgeon. This surgeon, he made me feel very uncomfortable, kind of creeped out. He was not a good communicator. He didn't ask me any questions. He didn't ask me what I wanted. He just said, I'll do this.
What?
And I'll charge you this. And I just didn't feel like
his bedside. Yeah, what the hell? Poor so bedside manner.
Yeah, it was so bad. I won't name names, I guess, but didn't love him. And then Dr. Henstrom, the first thing he said to me, he walked in, he handed me a mirror. He said, tell me what you like about your nose. I was like, okay, not much, but it was awesome. He was a listener, not a creep, respectful, warm, perfect. Just perfect.
I love that.
Yeah.
And do you feel that you were well prepared for your rhinoplasty? Or did you feel that I wish they went over more post-op stuff, or I didn't have the proper supplies?
Yeah. I was really well prepared. Yeah. The staff was great at walking me through. They also sent home a lot of materials for like my husband and like those caring for me to know my medication schedule and such. I really didn't have to lift a finger after the surgery. I just relaxed and people understood how to help me. I had the bandages. One thing I was not informed about and did not expect was that I had stents in my nose after surgery for a week. I had these about a width of your palm it's a silicone, like a flat oval with a tube in the center of it. There were 2 of those up in my nose. And when I went to have my cast removed, my stitches removed, they pulled those out as well.
They pulled them out?
I didn't know they were in there. I didn't know. And they were so painful. Maybe it's good that they didn't prepare me.
It's probably good for the best you didn't know that you had them in there.
I think they did that on purpose, and I think that was good because I wasn't nervous going there. And it was over pretty quick.
Yeah.
But that's all.
And
that's all.
That's so good. I'm glad you were well prepared. I'm glad there was no complications. Now let's talk about price. So my previous interview right now, she also got a rhinoplasty, but she got it done in North Carolina, and her rhinoplasty was $7,000. Is yours equivalent to that, or is it higher or lower?
Mine was almost 9.
Okay.
It was 8 something, 82, 87. I can't quite remember, but almost 9.
That's about right.
Yeah. Well, the first quote that I was given by the creepy
like
surgeon,
15,000.
13,000. I was like, you don't even sound like you know what you're gonna do though. Just, interesting. But I felt like my price was fair. My surgery was slotted to take 4 hours, which I believe is long for a rhino. He took 45 minutes. He took almost 5 hours.
That's pretty long for a rhinoplasty. Yeah. Definitely I work with surgeons that do rhinos in an hour, if that.
Wow.
But we don't know the complexity of your situation. Like you said, it was broken and it's very intricate. He was probably taking his time. But I mean, even though he took 4 hours, I mean, look at your results. Your results are great.
He also did some grafting for my cartilage.
Cartilage. Yes.
To preserve the breathing. He didn't want anything to collapse. And,
And where did he get where did from?
Where did he? I don't know. Probably my tip. I don't know. He just kind of moved things around. He could have gotten it from anywhere. I had a lot, I think. I had a lot. Okay. I should ask him. I should.
You're like, I don't know, but it's there. I love that.
It worked. Thank goodness.
And so after your rhinoplasty, after your revision work, you went and got a breast aug. How long after from that surgery did you get your breast aug? And did you go to the same place or did you go somewhere else?
I could not go to the same. My surgeon for my rhino was just a facial plastic surgeon.
Good. I was waiting to hear that. I was like, I hope she says she went somewhere else.
I did go somewhere else. He recommended I go to Dr. Steve Warnock, who works with Premier Plastic Surgery Group in Utah. And he is like 5 years away from retirement, which I liked. I was like, okay, so you've done hundreds of these. I feel very good.
Yes.
Tall, soft-spoken, confident, again, not creepy man.
Yes.
That really matters when you go in for a breast
It
aug,
does.
right?
It does.
No flirting, no weirdness, just a cool guy.
And I always say, we need more women plastic surgeons. Like, come on. Why are there so many men? And some of them are just weird and nasty. And I'm like, how are you a plastic surgeon? Like, it doesn't make sense.
You really have to wonder why this guy back in his 20s in med school chose, I want to do boobs. It's like, really?
Well, I could tell you, that's where the money's at. That's why.
Oh, well, okay, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I got the good ones. I got the good surgeons. I had my breast aug, I want to say 2 years after my rhino. So it was about this time last year. 2 or 3 years after my rhinoplasty, but 2024. And the recovery was so much different. It was so much worse. Oh my goodness. I was not quite ready. Not my surgeon's fault. The job was done very well. I just, it was under the muscle. My pecs. I couldn't use any of my arm muscles. I couldn't even hold my phone and like squeeze enough to depress the power button for the first 24 hours. If you know
Yeah,
my hair, you know.
it's so crazy.
It was crazy. I couldn't shift my weight in bed, couldn't do anything. But they gave me oxycodone, which I
Mm-hmm.
have figured out does not agree with my body. I looked 20
Oh,
weeks pregnant. I was so bloated. I was so
oh
backed up.
no.
That's probably the worst part, more so than like the pain, the stretching. It
The
was that
bloating from the meds.
bad. It was so bad.
And also, wherever we make an incision, the swelling goes down. So when I did get my breast aug too, my abdomen was really swollen. Not so much bloated though, but I did notice a lot of swelling in my upper abdomen.
Yeah, I think I had that too. Again, I was just like, am I pregnant again? This is how I feel. How I look.
No.
Well, no, but
And how much did your breast aug cost you in Utah?
that was 87.
That was about the same price as mine.
Nice. Yes, it was a good price. And it's funny because I had another consult elsewhere with a younger, less experienced surgeon. This is so similar to my rhino, but he also quoted me 13.
12.
13. I was like, yeah, but you've been doing this for a couple of years only. Someone
Yeah.
might choose you, but I don't know if I will. So, interesting
And but
numbers.
with the breast aug, was there any complications at all besides like not the medicine agreeing with you? But other than that, was it smooth sailing too?
It was smooth. I had no weird tears, bottoming out. I have no symptoms of like rest and illness. I did have some nerve pain that almost made me pass out at my like 24-hour check-in. With
Uh-huh.
my next morning, removing the bra for the first time, just that friction
Uh-huh.
was white hot, shooting pain, the
Ooh.
nerves trying to heal. I've never been, my vision went white. I've never been quite
Ugh.
so much in pain. I've given birth. I've broken my nose. Like that was something.
Yeah.
It was short-lived, but it was something. Not a complication though. It's normal, we anticipate.
Now the real tea is, have you always wanted a breast aug, or did your rhinoplasty kind of like set it off? Like, "Ugh, I'm feeling myself. Let me go get my breast done." Or was that something in the back of your mind? But you were like, after I get my rhino, I'll get my breast done.
I never knew I wanted my breasts done.
Okay.
I had been finished with nursing for about 3 years, and I kind of loved like the ballerina body, just really, really flat and slender. I didn't hate my boobs, did not hate them at all. Kind of loved the look. But you asked, was it the rhino? No, girl, it was the money. My husband's doing really well, and I just was like, hey, maybe I get.
I love that.
Maybe I get.
I love that.
I don't know. It was one of those things. It was more like a coming of age for me with my slight frame and my flat chest. I was like, I still look like I did when I was 19. I would love to look like I'm almost 30. I'm almost like a grown woman.
Yes.
We're still young, but I'm almost a full grown woman. Let's represent that more.
I love that.
Better, So I just wanted to get my boobs done. At first, I wanted to stay as small as possible, but just kind of bring them back to life after nursing. I tried on sizes, I want to say 5 different times. I had so many different consults with my same surgeon just because I wasn't sure. I was scared. I don't want to go too big. But I took my time. It took about 6 months to just
to decide your size.
Yeah. Yes. I was very paranoid about choosing a size, regretting it. I love them.
What size did you end up going with?
So we went with 425 and 445 because I was asymmetrical. They're perfectly even. I scrutinize it all the time. They're perfect.
And did you get either high profile or mod profile?
High profiles.
High profile, yes.
Yeah, so good. And they were round. They were Natrel, silicone. What else? I think that's all. High tone.
Love that.
Silicone. I do love them. They're as soft as they need to be, as perky and as firm as they need to be. I do love having bigger boobs. I think I could have gone bigger.
That's what everyone says.
I think I could have, and I think I might someday.
I used to say that too. I got hips or something, and I was like, when I got them done, I was like, I want Pam and titties. Like, I was like, we're going to go big or go home. And I was like, back in the day, I was like, I should have went bigger. But now I'm like, oh, I've had them for like 5 years. I'm like, okay, no, I'm glad I didn't go bigger. Just because it's hard when we're petite, our chest is big and then everything else is small. So I kind of need to buy a large in tops just to fit my breasts. But I'm technically a medium. So I have to buy larges in all tops. And sometimes the arms are too big or this is too big. That's the waist.
Yeah.
So, and even with like workout clothes and stuff, I'm having to buy large sports tops. And it's like, I could fit into a medium, but then it's like my tits are up to my fucking chin.
We love that. How tall are you?
I am 5'8".
Oh, okay. I'm 5'2".
So it fits my frame pretty good. I could have went bigger if I wanted to, but I'm pretty big. Like they're out there. Like they're noticeable.
Good. Well, that's what we wanted, right? It's like I'm not getting my breasts done just so no one can tell.
Exactly. I was like, no, if I get something done, you're gonna tell that I got something done.
And some women want a really discreet breast dog. I get it. Yeah. They just want it for the bedroom, and that's all they want.
3 of my friends
always.
Yeah, 3 of my friends and my sister, we all went to the same doctor, and I'm the only one who came out with tiggle bitties, and the rest wanted like subtle.
Yes.
Subtle girls.
Yeah, I think, because I wanted the subtle girls. I was looking at like 225s, and
Yeah.
trying them on and thinking, they look so big. I think what did it for me is you have to spend a lot of time looking at before and afters. So you know
Yes.
what you're really asking for, what you're really gonna
Hmm.
get. And of course it's determined by how much breast tissue you began with.
Yes. Your
That
chest width,
45,
all of that
all
stuff.
of that. So my surgeon did tell me at like my 1 month post-op, he was like, okay, they're looking good. I was worried that they were going to be too big. They were literally just the biggest size I would have put inside you. And I love to hear that. Thank you. I don't think they're too big. I think someday if I want to, I'll go in and get 500s or something.
Now, I'm going to ask this question because I'm ignorant to the situation.
Okay.
Does your breast aug, not so much the rhinoplasty, have any effect or has it caused any stir in your religion and your culture, such as being a Mormon? Are you able to dress? I mean, it's modern times, but I'm so ignorant to all of this. I'm asking.
I love being able to talk about it instead of just make assumptions where they are.
Yeah.
You would be surprised at how many Mormon mommies have their boobs done.
Ooh.
It's a lot. I used to have a lot of piano clients. The majority of those middle-aged women that I would talk to in their 30s, 40s, maybe 50s, they had a surgeon. They had their boobs done. Most women out here in Utah get them done. It's very popular. I mean, we all nursed our kids usually, and we all just decided, hey, let's get the girls done. There's no religious repercussion. It's not against the religion.
I love that. Good.
That's a
and you guys can dress like a little dress or whatever. Like they're out there. There's no judgment, right? Or the older folk have some judgment.
There are some cultural expectations of modesty, but there's not doctrinal outlines for modesty. There's no scripture that says how long your skirt needs to be.
Okay.
That being said, so there's a lot of mamas who just kind of create their own ideals, and it's not correct. Right. We don't actually.
Gotcha.
Okay. You can't create commandments that don't exist. That's not okay. But one thing that is kind of controversial, we do have something called the sacred garment. And so it is kind of like a short sleeve shirt and some pants. Personally, I'm not a perfect member of my religion. No one is. I struggle to wear the tops because I love how I look when I show off my boobs. And it's my own thing. And
love that.
I don't feel judged for it. I think there are people who would feel judged if they didn't wear their garment. I have never once been spoken to negatively about it.
Good.
That's how it is. I have a friend who has bigger implants than I do, and she always wears her garment, and she feels comfortable doing that. And I'll probably get there someday. But right now, I love how I look when I'm wearing something like this.
Good. I'm glad it's not harsh out there because in my mindset, I'm like, are they harsh in Utah? Like, what's the vibe? But I'm glad you're able to do your own thing.
Person to person. It just depends on who your mom is, There are women here and there, anywhere in the world, any religion, who are going to be bitches. Like, of course, you'll find them anywhere. Yes, there are obviously some in the church, and they use the church as like a coverall. Like, oh no, I'm right being rude to you because
to be a
Christ-like. Yes, actually, you're being a cunt, not Christ-like.
You literally sound like my other interview, Rachel Rosette. Oh my God. She was Mormon as well. And she was from Utah and she's not Mormon anymore, but oh my God, she was hilarious. You guys are twins.
She's so cute. She's so funny. People cannot stand her confidence. They cannot. They cannot.
Her and her husband are so iconic. And that interview was one of the most iconic interviews. I was dying.
I'm proud of her.
And let's talk about your veneers and your lip filler. When the heck did you get veneers? And did you get those in Utah as well? What was that?
Oh, yeah. I got them in Utah as well. All growing up, I'm going to kind of lean forward. These, what are they called? Laterals.
Canines? Oh, laterals?
Oh,
which ones?
Between the canines and the big teeth. They were just very undersized. And I feel like most people don't pay attention to those teeth because normally they're fine. Mine were so small just naturally that it was very like a jagged line even after braces. I've had braces. And I also struggled with bulimia and anorexia for about 10 years during high school, early college. And so I had some staining. I had some fillings there that were at this point darker than my natural teeth because I've been whitening my teeth for years. And so I just was not confident with my smile. I was like, that's next. That's on the list. We're going to get those fixed. I did consults at, I want to say 3 different dentistries before I landed on Pfeifferhorn Dental, which is in Provo, which is nearby like BYU, which is so funny. This nice, actual nice dentistry next to this college. And my doctor was Dr. J. Great job. I only did those 2 teeth. That's all I needed. It was funny because he put temporary crowns on my teeth for the week or so that my veneers were being made. And
Uh-huh.
they were the lightest veneers I had were so much darker yellow than my natural teeth.
Really?
It looked so bad. I wasn't talking to anyone. I wasn't smiling all week. It was bad. He's like, I don't know what to tell you. These are the lightest ones we have. I've never seen teeth as white as yours.
You must be like me. I whiten my teeth every freaking week. Every week.
Well, not every week for me. I should. Maybe I should. But
Every like Friday night, I do my face mask, I do my teeth whitening, I do my exfoliation. I have like the little strips, and then you put the LED in, and you sit there for 5 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. It just helps you be a lot more comfortable, not just smiling, but like speaking, you know?
Teeth are important. Like I
Just
said
so
this in my
much.
last podcast. I'm like, especially when they're bigger and out there, they need to be white.
Yeah, they need to be white. I absolutely agree. And it just helps you feel better about yourself. You know,
Yes.
teeth are subconsciously, subliminally, a sign of overall health. And oral hygiene is
Yes.
a huge indicator of overall health, especially in the future. It matters. Oh, yeah, it matters. Take care of your teeth. It helped me a lot. I love, they're just straight across. They're the iconic, just white smile.
Love it. And along with the teeth, you've had 9 or 10 syringes of filler?
Yes.
Where,
I've
girl?
lost track, maybe more. So I have in total a syringe of filler in my nasolabial folds. I'm
Okay.
probably gonna get a little more because after my rhino, I feel like I noticed some things just kind of losing volume, or maybe
Okay.
that's just aging in general. I just don't want those nasolabial lines. So I have one
Mhm.
syringe here, but in my lips overall, I think I lost track after 7. But I usually get a syringe or half a syringe every 6 to 9 months, and I've been doing it for about 4 years.
What?
But I know, because my injector's very, very good. She will tell me no more often than she tells me yes, because
Okay.
you need to build up slowly to avoid migration.
Yes.
I did have some migration in my upper lip. It was a different injector that I'd had seen just a
you.
couple times. Went back to better injector, my first injector. Don't want to hurt any feelings, but I had migrated. I had migrated outside my Cupid's bow, and it was obvious. It looked a little beaky. It was too much in the center, not so much spread across the top of the upper lip.
Gotcha.
We had to dissolve a little bit and then refill. So in that process, I think I've had overall 9 or 10, give or take. And I will be asking for more pretty soon. So, I'll tell you.
Well,
if she says yes.
right now, you couldn't even tell you got 9 or 10 syringes of
Thank
filler.
you.
I mean, when you hear 9 or 10, you're thinking like pillow face,
face,
puffy,
yeah.
swollen, but
Yes.
you can't even tell. So that's really good. Your injector is doing a great job, and I'm glad she tells you no sometimes instead of
Right.
just cash
Yeah.
grabbing.
Yeah, she would never. And I think it's a big part of it is the filler she uses. She uses Restylane Kiss in my
Okay.
lips only. I had Juvederm here, but what I've learned about Juvederm, I'm not an injector, so if I say something wrong, then, call me out. But Juvederm is a bit softer and it's a little more hydrophilic, and it
Mhm.
can tend to move and migrate a little
Yes.
more, what I've been told.
That's what I've
So-
heard as well.
Okay. Restylane Kiss is a little more firm, and I feel like it's stayed in my lips very well. My lower lip especially has never had even a speck of migration. And the upper lip just that one time. And I love it. I love Restylane Kiss. I think I'll keep getting it for as long as my injector will tell me yes. Who knows? Right?
Yes. Now, you recovered at home for all of your procedures. Did you face any challenges recovering at home with your procedures, or everything was okay for you because you had a good support system?
Yeah, everything was really good, especially my breast aug. I really appreciated being able to be in my bed, eat my food, have my
Mhm.
attention. I had a close friend, my husband, a sister, and my mother spend time coming over and helping me get up, wipe my butt when I went to the bathroom, take care of
Yes.
my daughter. Take care of my daughter was a big thing because
Yeah, it's hard
it was-
chasing around after a little one.
Oh, I couldn't do it. I couldn't even open the fridge. I
Yeah.
couldn't do anything. So, and she was concerned, Mom, what's wrong? And so I told her I went to the booby doctor. He fixed your boobies, stuff like that. But it was good to have people she trusted around. That would have been heartbreaking for me had I had to be recovering separate from her and just leave
Yes.
home worrying. So that was big
Yeah.
for me. Yeah.
Now, we're going to touch on your social media and going viral, because obviously this is how I found you. You came up on our For You page. I saw that viral video that has over 40 million views. So let's dive into it, because I'm so curious as well. You've built a following of over 12,000 Instagram followers, and you went viral with your septorhinoplasty video hitting over 40 million views. What was that moment like for you? And did you even think that that video was going to take off the way it did?
This is weird. This is my second Instagram account and the second time I've gone viral. Last year in June, I had my previous Instagram suddenly was deleted, and I'll never know why. Instagram doesn't tell me, but on that previous account, I had about 13,000 followers and a video about my rhino with 17 million views. So those numbers count too, but I lost them. I had to restart, and no, you never know which of your videos is going to go viral.
I know.
just trying to rebuild my account and kind of replicate the content I'd had before. That particular video that has 40 million views was a very low effort video. I was just killing
It
time.
always happens that way. Ugh.
I think I even I don't even remember what the caption was. I put no effort into that one. I was just like, this is
Yes.
what it is. I just need reels, just need to rebuild my page. I think that when that one started to go viral, I had 800 followers or something. I was feeling really defeated because I'd lost my whole page. It was gone.
Yeah.
So sad. But yeah, that one I remember when it hit 5 million, I was like, okay, I'm back. And then it hit 10, and then it hit 20. It kind of stopped at 30 for a while, and now
then
it's the tide, Instagram ebbs and flows. You get your turn, stops, and you get your turn. So it's just been crazy. And I have another one that just hit, I think, 12 million. And I'm like, oh, okay. I think it's because, my before surgery nose was crazy.
Your before photos and you're on a billboard. That's how crazy Noelle's photos are. She is on a billboard. Her before and afters are posted. You guys need to go to our Instagram if you're listening to this, because I will be posting her before and after for you guys to really see what we're talking about.
They're crazy. And, some people who love me try to tell me I was beautiful before. It wasn't that bad. I don't need that. It was so bad. My sad little big nose, it needed help. I needed that. But I understand the virality, the viralness of it. Because, oh my goodness, that starting nose, how can you not double take that? A lot of people think that I edited my before nose. They think that is fake. And I'm like, or it's a prosthetic. Someone said, oh, that's
what? They can't believe it.
No, they can't believe it. And I'm just like, well, right.
No, I wish, but no, here we are.
I could just take that off when I'm done with it. No,
seriously. And did going viral open new doors for you at all? Or are you still working on, you're just going with the flow and posting plastic surgery content?
Yeah, one thing I have for myself for Instagram is I don't want to try to make money through Instagram. My husband's doing that for me. I am just that stay-at-home housewife. I just feel like influencers who are always posting links and, everything's kind of a cash grab, that works for them. I don't feel comfortable doing that. And so all I want through Instagram is to show people, if you feel like me, if you look like me before my surgeries and you felt as stuck as I did and you think there's no one who's going to support you and there's no surgeon who can help you, I just want to show you how I've changed. And you don't have to be stuck either. That's all I care to do is be like, hey, you can be a normal person, a normal girl. Believe it or not, I'm not actually a crazy airhead bimbo. You can get the surgeries you want and feel great afterwards. Be confident. You don't even have to keep it a secret. Put it on social media. It's okay. It helps. I get so many DMs from these sweet girls, guys too, who talk about how insecure they are about their nose. And I gave them the courage to start researching.
I love that.
That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted to do. And that's what I'll keep doing.
I love that. Now, were you doing plastic surgery content? Obviously not, right? Prior to your nose, but then the nose reel went viral and you kind of ran with it?
Yes.
Okay.
I had just a personal Instagram, college memories. Here's my new baby. Just for people I knew in real life and college friends. My first reel that started getting, comments and actual views, 6-figure views. It was a reel said how my nose job changed my life, and it was I don't feel ugly anymore. And that's where bimbo started, because my first hate comment was something like, you might look better now, but your attitude ruins it. Like very bimbo. That was the comment. Like very bimbo. And that's where I was like,
God.
Okay. I'll be a bimbo then. You can't. You cannot back me into a corner. You think you have insults? I'll just agree with it. Oh, okay. I'm a bimbo, I guess.
And being very open about plastic surgery and transformations, it comes with a lot of hate and a lot of strong reactions online. How do you deal with all the negativity and all the haters on social media? Do you kind of, our last interview, she was like, well, you're blocked and you're blessed. She does not she does not tolerate bullshit. Tiffany is like, you talk shit, goodbye. And she deletes it. Some people, I leave it because that shows how much of an asshole they are. I hope everyone sees it and drags them. What's your take on it?
I think I take it a step further. I cannot deal with it. I can't deal with it alone. I've been through a lot of trauma therapy. I've got a lot of great healthy coping skills in my repertoire. I can deal with those things alone. I don't let that just bounce around my brain. I screenshot it and I put it on my story and I tag the motherfucker, okay? And we all make fun of them, and then I block them. But I don't.
And then you need to find their LinkedIn and send it to their boss.
My followers followers do. My followers will do that. And they'll like
I love
find
that.
them. Yeah. I just some things are just not worth the time. I just delete it, of course. But
Uh-huh.
you know what? I'm not gonna take this line down and I'm not gonna take it alone. You're on my story. So my stories are regularly full of what makeup I'm wearing today, my outfit, and then
And then a hater.
the new hateful comment and their profile picture and their handle. And you know, people get reported all the time from me and my followers because
I love that.
you know what I get a lot of is anti-Semitic comments. I'll get Nazi accounts sending me the rudest things.
What?
Oh yeah. So that has been most surprising. I understand the reactions to the rhino, but everyone is so desperate to degrade me because I'm Jewish. And I'm like, wow, you guys. If I was
We are
ugly,
in
who
modern
cares?
times. What the
This
hell?
is not 1942. Like,
No.
it's been bizarre, very bizarre. But again, I don't just let myself sit with that in isolation. I'll put it on my story and I feel better immediately because I know I'm not alone. I'm supported.
Yes.
I've got all my girls. I also share them with like my husband. We'll just laugh
Yeah.
at people. It's a gas. But no,
Now,
I put people on blast.
Good, as you
Yeah.
should.
Thank
Now,
God.
touching on your husband, did he understand, like, babe, I'm going viral. Look at this. Did he understand, like, what viral means? Is he on social media? Does he understand everything that's going on?
I mean, he's not actively on social media. He has an Instagram for like, you know, the same reason we all used to, just high school
Yes.
friends and family. So he understands it. You know, he loves a good reel. He's very supportive. He loves seeing my content. He loves commenting on it to me in person, telling me
Yeah.
about it or something. And he's so supportive. Sometimes
I love that.
we'll be driving or something. He'll be like, damn, my wife's on a billboard. My wife is amazing. He's just that quiet, constant support. He just thinks it's so cool. He's so
I
cute.
love that. You deserve that.
Thank you. I do. I worked hard for that. I found that. I deserve it.
Now, for the future, are you still for your platform, is your goal going to kind of further empower women? If you can do it, I can do it. Are you looking to inspire, educate, entertain, or all of the above?
Certainly all of the above. I hope I'm entertaining. If I can't inject a little humor.
No, you are. Yeah, you are. Yes, I love it. The humor, the backlash, the plastic surgery content. It's so interesting. And,
Thank you.
you know, it is a niche. The only other person I found is Rachel. You and Rachel, both from Utah.
We should like get together, she and I.
No, you guys need to do a collab.
She's so
Seriously.
cute. And she's on a show. She's on TV. She's going to be on a show. I'm so excited to see that. Did you know
Is that her? Okay, so when I interviewed her a month ago, I was like, what's coming up for you? She's like, I can't really say right now.
Yeah. You should check her.
She's-
Insta. Just started
I
on
need to go.
Instagram.
Okay, I need to go follow up with my Rachel girl because that's iconic. Because she's like, you'll see in like a couple weeks. But I told her too. I was like, you need to get on Mormon Wives. Like, what the hell? I was like, both of you. I'm gonna send to a producer request.
Yeah. Oh, you should. That'd be wonderful. I would.
Seriously.
I love confrontation. I think some people see that as a flaw, but I will call you out and I'll say it to your face and in front of people if you've wronged me. If you said something, you know, passive aggressive, disrespectful, oh, we'll fight. Oh, yeah, we'll absolutely fight. I will gaslight you if you push me to it. And I think reality TV's not ready for that. I'm too mean. But
No.
that being said, oh, you had a great question. I feel like I've forgotten it. What's my purpose? Education, entertainment.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly all of the above, but I'm going to continue. I want to get, you know, laser hair removal. I want to remove some tattoos. I want to get, you know, more things done to my face, microneedling perhaps. I just want to be that source that people know they can turn to. And I've probably tried a bit of everything. They can ask me questions and they'll come to my page and they'll learn a little bit about procedures they're curious about. It's one thing to learn from a practitioner. It's
Mhm.
another thing to learn from a consumer. And I just want to be that consumer who will share my experience from that end and you know, make you feel stupid or bad or embarrassed that you want to care.
That you want
Everyone-
something done. Yeah.
Yes. Everyone is going to be surrounded by people who are make them feel, oh, you don't need it. Oh, no, you'll look crazy. You'll look different. Oh, don't do that.
I'm
not
like,
gonna-
of course I'll look different, sweetie. What do you think I'm trying to do here?
Thank you. I'm so glad I look different. Gosh.
Yes. And do you think people misunderstand women who choose to have cosmetic procedures and live a softer, more traditional life? Like you
Yes.
want to be a stay-at-home mommy, support your kids, you know, support your husband. And people are like, well, why are you trying to look like X, Y, and Z if you're just a stay-at-home mommy? Like, do you ever run into that?
I love that because it's like the question, who's it for? Right?
Yeah.
Who are you getting that done for? You know, people are like, oh, you're going to leave your husband now that you're hot. And it's like, it's not even for my husband. And you know what? It's not even for me. I think that the question and that point of view is wrong. It's because that's who I am. It's not for myself. It's because of myself. I am the type of
Got
girl
you.
who would have fixed my nose. I am that self-assured and I do value myself that much that if there's anything
Mhm.
about my body I'm not elated with and I have the money for it, I respect myself so much that I absolutely would go get it. I'm not
Mhm.
doing it for someone else's approval. I actually hate being looked at in public. Just ask all the creepy men who stare. I yell at them.
Ugh,
Oh yeah, it's fun. But
gosh.
I don't do it for myself or for my husband. Of course, he loves it.
Of
But I do
course.
it because it's who I am. It represents me better when I look like who I really am. And that's all. That's all it is.
I love that you're so confident and you stand strong in your journey and you're so self-aware. I love when I find girls and interview all the girlies out there that are just so self-aware. Like, I hope that, you know, girls who aren't as, you know, self-aware, lack a little bit of confidence. I hope that they hear stories like yours and I'm like, oh shit, well, if Noelle can do it, if Rachel can do it, if, you know, you can do it too.
Just remember, I was like a farm Mormon homeschool girl. Doesn't mean I have to be frumpy if I don't want to be. If I want to look different and step into a different category of woman, and that's where I feel prettier and that's where I feel better and more empowered, I'll do it. And so can anyone. And, you know, you asked, do you feel like women who get cosmetic work get a bad rap? Well, absolutely. And people do it intentionally. People who see a beautiful woman or see a woman do something to improve her looks, if they're not confident in their looks, they get triggered. They
project it. They project their
angry.
nastiness on them.
They do. And they come from a point, I think people don't know that they do that. They believe they're coming from a point of,
100%.
Because I'm so confident. Sweetheart, if you were so confident, you would never feel the impulse to insult. You know, people need 100%. A little more therapy. Everyone needs a little therapy.
Everyone.
Yeah. But again, it just circles back. Like, of course I'm called a bimbo because I got work done. So how in the world could I be anything different? I'll just run with it. Whatever.
It's so crazy that it makes me so mad because I hear these stories all the time. And it's like, this is why I have this platform to spread. Like, you're so educated. You went to school. You're not a bimbo. You are far from a bimbo.
I don't need the approval of the masses who are determined to insult to feel good about myself. And, you know, last thing I think I want to make sure I say is a lot of people will comment, oh, you should have just learned to love yourself and then you wouldn't have gotten the nose job. How backwards, how incredibly backwards. I love myself enough that I fixed my damn broken nose. I fixed it because I love myself.
I'm just going to learn to love myself because I'm morbidly obese and have chronic conditions. No, you're going to love yourself because you want to go to the gym. You want to be healthy. You want to... It's the same way. Like, it's the same thing.
I'm going to prove because I love myself. And anyone who wants to accuse you, you know, what if I said I was really insecure about the fact that I couldn't speak French very well. And so I went to classes and I took courses and I taught myself and now I'm better at French, which I am. People would applaud that. You know, because cool. She has an intellectual advantage. She speaks language. That's not so triggering for people. But I say, I didn't feel very beautiful with my nose, so I got a rhinoplasty and now I feel pretty. Oh my goodness. People can't stand that.
Shit hits the fan.
And I think it's because, is there a social hierarchy dependent on how you look? Yeah.
Yes.
Do I have a little
unfortunately.
More, yes. Do I have a little more power socially? And my opinion.
It's called pretty girl privilege.
No.
I mean, shit, we don't make the rules. That's how the world is, unfortunately.
People are just mad that I play the game and I would play it well. And I have the money to play it. And does that make me a bratty bitch? Absolutely. But the people who are close in my life are the most wonderful women in the world. My friends and the people who stay close to me are the most incredible people. I'll name them by name. It's Lauren, it's Mesa, it's Sia, it's my sisters. These women are precious women because they are not quick to judge you because of how you choose to look. And if people want to judge you because you got plastic surgery, do you want them? You want them in your life? No. They need to work on them. Keep the people close who are precious.
You gotta take the trash out when you need to because you don't need any of that negativity in your life.
Turns out getting your boobs done removes the trash for you. They'll just see themselves out, you know. You can't handle it. Okay, bye.
Seriously. So and what advice would you give to women who are considering starting their own aesthetic journey but feel judged or unsure? You know, a lot of women are scared. Hey, they're gonna see me differently. They're gonna think that I'm trying to be something I'm not. What would be your advice to them?
Don't avoid those fears. Accept them. Say yes. People will see me differently. I will look like I'm trying to be something I'm not. And I will become something I will no longer be what I am now. I will be prettier. I will be more confident. Don't be afraid of that. If that's the reality of it and that's what people will assume, flip the narrative.
Ooh, she said flip the narrative.
Change your perspective. Don't cower from it. Oh, I want to feel prettier. I want bigger lips, but I don't want people to notice. What? No.
Yeah.
I want bigger lips and I hope people notice and then I will feel better. Yes, someone will say she's trying to be someone she's not. Well, I'm sorry, but last time I checked, I am no longer a woman who has a hooked nose. So am I trying or am I succeeding?
Ooh,
I am that woman now. I am that bitch. Go be that bitch.
I love it. It's so fucking iconic. I can't. This is so good.
So gangster. It's so gangster.
Oh my God.
Don't be afraid of those fears.
Seriously. And in the future, do you have any other, I know you said you want to get some laser and stuff. Those are aesthetic. Any surgical procedures, or are you content right now and you're like, I'll nitpick here and here, but other than that, you're kind of content?
I have a couple friends who were all kind of young, and it's like, when I need that endoscopic brow lift, you tell me, and we'll go get it.
Yes,
When I need
yes,
that
yes.
blush, I'll go get it.
Yes.
That's also fun.
I will probably be getting a little bluff this year. I'm 29 and I'm like, right before I turn 30, let me go get a quick bluff.
That's
So
exciting.
I'll
Blush is
probably do
powerful.
it. I have a lot going on during the summer, so I'm like, okay, probably early fall, right before my birthday. I was like, I'm just gonna get that little bluff really quick. So that's exciting. Bluffs are good. If you get a good
Yeah.
bluff, you're on the right track.
They can transform a face, and it's hard to tell what changed. Like a before and
Yeah.
after the blush, it's like, whoa, what was that? Even I struggle sometimes to place a blush. Like when they're done well, they
Uh,
can really.
yeah, I'm so excited for my
Excited.
bluff. And you don't have to be asleep to get a bluff. Like you don't have to go under general anesthesia. I'm gonna do it in office. I'm gonna film the whole thing. It's gonna be my little birthday gift to myself, so that's gonna be iconic.
Happy birthday! What a perfect way to commemorate.
Yeah,
Look a
that's
little
gonna
sexier, a little
that's
younger,
gonna
a
be
little lifted.
go to Miami with some brand new eyelids.
Oh, I want to go to Miami. Oh, that'll be so fun.
Yes.
I could never see myself getting a BBL because that's a different aesthetic. I do like to
Yes.
stay in my lane. I love Pride and Prejudice. I love anything bourgeoisie. I love like Renaissance. I love Bridgerton. I love, that type of.
I love
not
how you
vintage.
know your aesthetic and you're not just getting a BBL because all the IG girls are doing it.
Right, that's just different. That's just a different aesthetic. It's
Yes.
not me. I'm a concert pianist, and in the end, I know my aesthetic niche. I know where I sit, and a BBL would not fit. I also would have to draw all my pants, and I would never.
She's like, it's too much work to get a BBL.
It's not very Ralph Lauren to get a BBL, in my opinion. I don't think Dior would approve, but
Well-
it looks hot on other girls. But it's
Yes.
I'm too short for that.
Uh,
That's the only thing that's off the table. So who knows? Who knows? I might.
I love it. Well, we definitely need to keep up with you and see all your content coming out. And you are truly iconic. This interview was everything and more. You are a Utah Mormon queen. I love it. Living your best life.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on the pod and sharing your journey and sharing your insight and kind of building up the girlies. I love when we really get girls that build up other girls, and you are a true legend. And if anyone wants to ask Noelle any questions about her procedures or any aesthetic info, you can run to our Instagram and click on her tag and go to her page and ask away and see all her hilarious plastic surgery content and her rhinoplasty, which was viral. So you have a lot of good content out there, and I hope you still keep creating so we can support you and cheer you on.
Oh, I will. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So if you guys tune in next week for another episode, and thank you so much for listening. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.